In this video, I'm going to be talking about real, practical tips that you can use to find out what your inner voice is actually saying and how you can listen to it. So I was watching this video of Steven Spielberg giving a commencement speech at Harvard, talking about how he found his inner voice and he was able to listen to it. I found it really interesting and I thought that we could talk about it.
Because for the first 25 years of our lives, we are trained to listen to voices that are not our own. Parents and professors fill our heads with wisdom and information, and then employers and mentors take their place and explain how this world really works. And usually these voices of authority make sense, but sometimes doubt starts to creep into our heads and into our hearts. And even when we think that's not quite how I see the world, it's kind of easier just to nod in agreement and go along. And for a while, I let that going along define my character.
The main takeaway from this is that there are always going to be voices around you telling you what you should be doing and judging you from deviating from a certain path. And in my case, it almost seemed like there was no other option aside from the traditional law or medicine or engineering or the like. It almost seemed taboo to pursue something else that was kind of unconventional. This is often made a lot harder when we have people around us who don't necessarily have our best interests in mind, but their opinions play with our thought process. So the first step is to block out all of the noise. Because if you never do that, then it can never be quiet enough for you to listen to yourself. This took me some time to comprehend, but only once you start valuing your own happiness independent of others can you really start to be honest with yourself about what truly brings you joy. This is important because at the end of the day, you have to start listening to your own voice if you really want to know who you are and what you want to become.
The internal voice I needed to listen to was hardly audible, and it was hardly noticeable, kind of like me in high school. But then I started paying more attention, and my intuition kicked in. And I want to be clear that your intuition is different from your conscience. They work in tandem, but here's the distinction. Your conscience shouts, here's what you should do, while your intuition whispers, here's what you could do. Listen to that voice that tells you what you could do. Nothing will define your character more than that.
Now, once you eventually get really quiet, you can start giving yourself a chance at self-discovery. Self-discovery can be challenging because you're often tempted to do something safe or move towards what you should do. But I really hope that you give yourself a chance at finding out what it is that you could do. Part of the process is giving yourself some room to be lost so you can find yourself. I'm still trying to do that. I'm still trying to figure out what it is that truly fulfills me. So the second point to remember is that you have to follow your intuition. Spielberg explains that your conscience is a loud voice. It's often an aggregate of everything that happens around you that you then base your decision off of. However, your intuition is a much quieter voice. It's that voice that you would listen to if you weren't afraid of failing or what other people might think of that choice. Don't be afraid to listen to that voice. There will be signs all around you, and over time you should be able to see them. I would add that you should try to do a little introspection and see the environments that you'd like to be in and the people that you'd like to surround yourself with. And also what you'd like to spend your time doing that involves creation of some kind. This is something that you want to sustain for a long period of time, so you're only better off finding what your purpose is instead of settling for something less than that. In your defining moments, don't let your morals be swayed by convenience or expediency. Sticking to your character and intuition requires a lot of courage, but that's why I'm here with you figuring out a way to do just that. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching the video. There's a reason why this is one of the first videos that I'm making. It's because I think it's so important for you to have to be able to listen to your own inner voice in order for you to become who it is that you want to be. If you like this video, drop a like below and subscribe to the channel because I'm posting weekly and I'm really glad to be making these videos for you and I hope that you get some value from it. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next week.